Before going to buy third-party plugins, I highly recommend taking a look at what's already under the hood of After Effects. After Effects ships with hundreds of effects and presets that can be used in professional motion graphics and VFX work. By expanding your knowledge of After Effects and what's available, it will help inform you of its capabilities and how a plugin may or may not be helpful in expanding them. While it would take a very long time to take you through every single effect in After Effects, in this movie we'll have a quick overview of some of the different categories of effects available.
So before we dive into looking at third-party plugins, I think it's extremely important to stress again how important it is to know what's underneath the hood of After Effects. Understanding what's underneath the hood of After Effects is going to first of all allow us to utilize these third-party plugins better with all of the knowledge we gain from how effects and presets that ship with After Effects work. So before you dive into all those tutorials online that utilize third-party plugins, take a close look at what's available underneath the hood and realize through limitation, you'll be able to get a better understanding of how After Effects works. Now let's dive into the project files. So if you have a premium subscription, you'll have access to these. And as you can see, I have this AE plugins course folder located on my desktop. And all you have to do is just to dive into this folder where you see the After Effects project. And let's give this a double click to launch After Effects. So if you look over here to the left-hand side in the project panel, you'll notice that this course is divided into a series of chapters. I'm going to open up the chapter 1 folder. I'll see there's a chapter 1.1 composition, and I'm going to double click that to open in the timeline. Now, as a trainer, I constantly get asked what are the best ways to learn After Effects, and right here in the library, there is a wonderful essentials course by an author by the name of Ian Robinson that I highly recommend to get familiar with all of the capabilities of what After Effects can do for you. Another thing I recommend is to go to the animation menu and browse the presets that ship with After Effects. Here you're going to find a ton of pre-created elements, anywhere from backgrounds to transitions, as well as text effects that you can apply to particular layers inside of After Effects, and can give you an idea of the capabilities of what you can also create and add to this library. So we can actually, as an After Effects user, save our own presets to expand the capabilities of this section. So I'm actually currently in Adobe Bridge looking at these preset folders that ship with After Effects, and I might have a couple more than you, such as this Trapcode folder here based on the third-party plugins installed on my system. For the time being, let's actually go into the text folder and to see some of the animations available for us. I'll go to the Animate In folder and see a ton of different ways of animating text within After Effects. Let's single click on the slow fade on text preset, and we can see that a preview shows up on the upper right hand side showing us what will happen to our text if we applied this to it inside of After Effects. Do the same thing with the typewriter effect. Give that a single click, and you can see how that text is going to come on screen. As you can see, this was one of several text preset categories. At the very top of Bridge, I'm actually going to go back to the preset menu, and let's give the Shapes folder here a double click. And let's click here on Elements. And here we can see a bunch of pre-designed elements that we can, of course, double click and bring inside of After Effects. So again, if I actually double click any of these presets, it will bring it inside of After Effects, and I can take it and I can switch its parameters to manipulate it in how I see fit. So this is a great starting off place to see some of the things that are available inside of After Effects. So I'm going to go over here on my right-hand side to the Effects and Presets panel. And by chance, if yours is not showing, simply go to the Window menu. And from here, you can select Effects and Presets to bring it up. I'm just going to scroll down here on the right-hand side to see all of the different categories that are available for these effects and presets. So you might have fewer effects and presets here because of all the plugins I have installed for this course. But if you scroll down, we can select a category, and let's select the category Stylize, which have the stylistic effects from After Effects. And one of my favorites here is Glow. And we can see by looking at Glow that it is a 32-bit effect, so we can use it in 32-bit projects. So let's take the Glow effect and apply it to the clip in the composition. And you'll see here under the effect controls that all of the Glow's parameters show up here. And by simply playing around with these, we can become more familiar with what each of these parameters do. So you can see here as I play around with the threshold of the Glow, it actually affects the luminance values of what is glowing. And I have a glow radius and a glow intensity, which is going to affect how far that glow extends outward, and a glow intensity for how much it actually glows. The value is controlled by the threshold. So by exploring the effects and presets library and playing around with these parameters, along with figuring out what they do, we're going to be able to master the effects that ship with After Effects. So a great resource to see what's possible with built-in effects and presets besides what's available in your library comes from a site called motionworks.net. So as you can see here, the site is up, and motionworks.net is owned by a Cinema 4D After Effects artist by the name of John Dickinson. This site is a great resource, and in one section, there's an area called After Effects Experiments. In some of these experiments, John Dickinson actually works through the art of limitation, where he just takes particular effects from the After Effects library that ships with After Effects to create visually stunning motion graphics. So if I click here on the AE Experiment 4, what you'll see is this beautiful design that he created through limitation, along with other people who participate in the After Effects experiment. So this particular experiment was done with 3 built-in After Effects plugins. And if I scroll down, you can see some of the people who are participating in this After Effects experiment and screenshots from the project that they created. I'm just going to close down this website and let's hop back into our After Effects project. So back here in the project panel, I'm actually going to double click this Chapter 1.1 Experiments composition. And I participated in that last AE experiments that you saw. And if I take a look here at the clip that contains all of the effects, so I'm going to solo the first layer within my After Effects composition. And here, if we take a look under Effect Controls, we can see the 3 effects that were used to create the end result here that you see in the composition window. Those 3 effects are fractal, something that's often overlooked in the After Effects library, combined with light burst and CC flow motion to give you this end result. Let me actually now solo the experiments 2 layer within the composition in the timeline. And you can see here that this actual effect under Effect Controls was made of 2 fractals along with 2 CC light bursts, the second CC light burst actually giving you the vignette around the edges, creating the final result that you see here. So take a look at those 2 layers within the composition to get a better sense for how through limitation was able to create the effects from John Dickinson's AE Experiments 4. And just keep in mind that there's a lot within After Effects to learn in both effects presets, and using limitation to get more familiar with what you can do before jumping into those third-party plugins.